Hey, it's it's Monday morning. It's almost noon. I was on GoToMeeting. Actually, I'm still on GoToMeeting. Nobody's there. I tried getting on Skype. No one's really on. Facebook even. I actually got on Facebook. No one's on there. So I'm deciding to make a video because I'm bored. And I wanted to talk about something, an idea that I had while I was contemplating dual types. I think this is probably applicable to probably any dual type. I was thinking about INFJ, ESTP interactions, because to a certain extent, I've been trying to figure out how extroverted sensing for an INFJ, how much of a role it plays, how strongly and where. And without necessarily going into too many specifics, really the central idea that I was playing with is the sense that for those leading with introverted perceptions, and that would be the INFJ and the ESTP in this particular dual pair that I'm talking about, it can look quite a bit different than the dual types within a quadra leading with the judging functions. So like in beta quadra and ENFJ and ISTP interaction, well, it's not even really about the interaction, it's the archetype that's really on my mind. That's sort of the idea that I'm playing with. The difference between the judgment or the perception being sort of the core thing in the interaction, because I think dual interactions produce a sort of archetype, or they reveal a central archetype. At least that's my opinion. I think that like an INFJ ESTP, really sort of the central, not really point, but thingy, there's just the central thingy. It's like it has a lot to do with doing and being, not necessarily just action all the time, but as opposed to sort of really living in the rationalizations of things, like maybe ENFJ ISTP would. And by that I don't mean necessarily that they're getting intellectual about stuff, but just sort of that their landscape that they're sort of dealing with is one of values and of frameworks and things like that. It's different from, say, NI and SE. It's different from the perceivers. I started to think of NI and SE as for NI and SE for ESTPs and INFJs as being really the core. Even though you have one for like the INFJ, you have NI dominant, and then SE's all the way down in the inferior, they're still linked. I think in some ways I sort of don't like the 1, 2, 3, 4 sort of setup that MBTI has with the functions. It's really not so much of an issue. It's just that where I'm at in my thinking currently, I kind of feel like for, say, an INFJ, NI and SE are sort of intertwined together, and then sort of not even necessarily on the outside, but just around that, sort of you have FE and TI acting as tools in a way. I mean, as I think as Socionics Model A would put it, both FE and TI for the INFJ would be creative functions. They would be, or excuse me, producing, not creative, producing functions. So one of the things I was playing around with is, you know, NI and SE sort of being linked. Having those be sort of integral. I don't know, sometimes I look at INFJs and I see this sort of lack of zeal in certain situations, or a sort of, I mean, I'll say it, you know, a certain corpse-like lifelessness. It's not that you need to be the life of the party 100% of the time. I can't do that. When I try to do that, I get tired, and I have to take naps or hibernate for 12 hours. I mean, I get it, you know. You only got so much energy to run off of. However, like the idea of just being zen and just not even zen. I don't want to poke fun at zen, but just that whole idea of being sort of calm and collected. I don't really like that idea. This may be something personal to me. It may not be something I can attach to other INFJs, but just sort of this lack of in some ways. I don't quite get that, or I don't really get why people do that, even for like the majority of the time. Maybe it's just them in their videos. I mean, I do that. Last video I put up, why am I pointing backwards? Backwards in time. Last video I put up, I was just sort of sitting there and talking. There wasn't a whole lot of zeal. Then again, I'd been, you know, pretty extroverted earlier in the day. So, I was probably just tired. That may be it too. Yeah. So, what am I talking about? What am I ever talking about? This whole lack of zeal thing. As of recently, I've been trying to bring that more. I've been trying to, you know, see more lively encounters that I have with people. And one thing I've noticed is that I like it. Personally, I like to sort of liven up the place to a certain extent. But I'm also looking for people to reciprocate that. And sometimes that doesn't go down well, because sometimes people, either because of their type, they don't really like that sort of interaction, or maybe they're just not in the mood. And so I'm finding myself trying to strike a new balance with other individuals, because I'm starting to find what I enjoy doing, and I just want to make sure that what I enjoy doing doesn't end up being something that becomes super bothersome for other people. And honestly, even though I say that, I don't imagine that it will to a great extent. If I overstep some boundaries, then I will sincerely apologize, because it is not my intent to piss someone off and make them feel bad. It's not what I'm looking for. I want to play, and that's part of how I play. Is, you know, sometimes it'll take the form of sort of remarks, like somebody will make a point. I'll be like, "Oh, really? Is that your point? Are you sure you don't have some other motive or something like that?" You know, just sort of that, not necessarily inquisitive. I mean, it is inquisitive because I am looking for an answer, but it's also that sort of biting, sort of direct question asking. It's something that I like. It makes me feel more connected to the moment. And so I've had fun with that. Yeah. I've had fun doing that. And in some ways it's weird. It's like I'm in my head because I have to engage like TI frameworks. Like if they give me a response and then they ask a question, I need to be able to respond back. But there's something about the sort of interaction that it just sort of gets me firing on all cylinders. It's like I'm having to engage like all four valued functions, I feel like, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I like that. One thing, I guess, one purpose this video could serve is I want to try to get it across to at least a few people that my intention is to play. So if you're like, wow, Ken's acting a little bit like more of a dick than usual. Well, there's a reason for that, and there's probably a reason I was acting like a dick to begin with. Or maybe you perceived it, or I'm just perceiving that, or maybe I'm judging that you were judging. You know what? Forget it. I'm not even... Self-deprecation's not worth it, and the energy that is required for me to sort of cover and... Fuck, I can't even muster the energy. It's so, like, here's another thing. When you find me slowing down and I'm searching for words, it's probably because I'm getting bored with my own thought. And that's something that is important for me to realize, is that sometimes I should explain things to people. It's not necessarily, I'll say things like, well, I don't know, well, I'm just trying to pick the right words because I want to explain this to you properly. I'll say that. Really may not even be that. It may be that I wanted to explain something to you, but really I just wish you'd get my fucking point and that I wouldn't have to explain it because I'm bored. And I don't want to have to explain it. So, you know, there's that. So, if you find me slowing down and really explaining things, you're boring me. Pick it up. No. It's not necessarily your responsibility to pick it up. If you want to pick it up, you can. However, it is not your responsibility. Leave it to me to entertain myself. How's that? Yeah. I feel like I've said things, and this video is just now getting to 12 minutes long. How's that? It goes a bit more fast, a bit more quick. I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. I said I liked it a few times now. It's getting a little bit too much. Too many likes. I'll say it again. I liked it. So, anything else I want to add here? I don't know. I don't know if I want to add anything else here. There's a lot of light coming in. I just realized it's probably going to make me seem real. Meh. Hey. There, the light's down. I shifted it. How do you feel about that? I changed the theme on you. Sort of what I'm talking about. That perceiving NISE connection just in the moment. Later I'll come to it. I'll be like, was that the right decision to make? And that's not me being all down on myself. That's me engaging my functions, asking, was that the right decision to make? At which point I can say, well, maybe right isn't the proper word. Maybe better, proper, proper even, do I care? What's a word I could use? It's one thing I don't like about this video thing is I can't ask you in current time what is a better word to use for not validation. I don't know. It's something. Do I have anything else to say? Oh, I got tons of shit to say. Yeah. I have no idea what to title this. Not one idea. Oh, I have an idea. I can say Ken and his SE. It'll take you a while. You'll be watching the video and you'll be like, hey, when's he gonna get to him? When's the point gonna be made? When's the connection gonna? And you'll be able to see it unfolding and be like, ah, hey. Not bad. So, it's 14 minutes. I'm not even going to say thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.